Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Tuesday, November 2nd. So today we have the moon in Libra all day, giving us a lot of energy to try and balance out our emotions, to balance our heart with our head, to focus on the positives, to find the middle ground, and of course, to really try to focus on the happiness, the joy, the peace, the harmony. Might be hard to find with some of these aspects taking place here today, but at least we have this light, fluffy moon energy to help us through the darkest parts. There are 10 different aspects here today. 8 of them involve the moon, and towards the end of the day, we are definitely moving into the new moon window. And a reminder, things get dark. Things get scary, things get fearful when we sit in the darkness of the dark sky with no moon in the sky to illuminate where it is that we need to focus on the positive. So it is going to be a little bit of a struggle of a day. Right out of the gate, we have Mars making an aspect with the true node. Let me tell you, this isn't the best aspect. And now that Mars is in Scorpio, in his place of power, we're really having to kind of dabble in the darkness of our thoughts, of our energy, of our passions and our desires. And let me tell you, this particular aspect is going to kind of highlight where it is that we are kind of obsessing on the details of the future. We are kind of negative in the sense that we are kind of sitting in the negative Nancy thoughts. We're kind of sitting in the obsessive paranoia type of energy that the shadow part of Scorpio can illuminate. And especially because this true node is trying to show us where it is we're supposed to be on the path, of course, moving our way into the future. We're highlighting the fears, the doubts, the insecurities. We're obsessed. We're paranoid. We're having a lot of doubts, we're having a lot of insecurities, and of course, this can definitely put a damper on our strength, on our discipline, on our will, on our passions, and on our desires. Things aren't going to increase that much more, really, because Mercury, who, by the way, is now out of his shadow period, squares Pluto. And as you know, Pluto highlights our fears, our insecurities, our doubts in order for us to realize where we have to boss up and kind of overcome that, transform that energy into something lighter, into something better. But here's the thing, Mercury, who rules over our mental plane, who rules over our communication and information, is kind of obsessed, kind of fixated on the fact that we don't think that we have enough information to make a move, to actually make a plan. And because Pluto is definitely rooting ourselves in the fears, in the doubts, in the paranoia, and the insecurity, we're likely going to have a lot of mental anxiety, a lot of pressure in our heads to try and sort things out, to try and, not dive full into the darkness. We can become very obsessive, very much in a loop of our thinking. We can become very obsessed with trying to make our point. This is going to create a lot of intense probable situations with communicating where we're just not able to communicate effectively. We're not being heard. We're not being validated. We want people to agree with us. We want everybody to be on the same side. And the fact that it likely isn't going to happen that way is just going to intensify our anxieties, our want, need, and desire to figure things out and have all the answers. And if anything, this is going to illuminate for us where it is that we're still lacking clarity, lacking details, lacking information, and lacking the understanding of the people that we were really hoping would kind of validate for us where it is that we're currently at in our insecurities, in our fears, and in our doubts. The moon is going to go ahead and bump into Uranus. This is a beautiful energy trying to pull us out of this funk, out of this darkness, out of these fears, out of this obsessive thinking, and really highlight for us where, maybe there's new ideas that we can contemplate. Maybe we need to lighten the mood a little bit. Maybe we need to take these chaotic thoughts and feelings and actually try to make sense out of them. Maybe we need to compartmentalize where these thoughts are actually coming from, where these emotions are actually coming from. And if nothing else, this is just going to highlight for us where it is that we're living, thinking, feeling in extremes, and where it is that maybe we just need to push ourselves back into that middle ground, trying to make sense of the extremes in which we're thinking and feeling. And of course, that Uranian energy wants to shock us, wants to kind of throw us a curveball on where it is we can open our mind, where it is we need to kind of free ourselves from some of these darker thoughts and feelings, and help us just kind of be the light at the end of the tunnel. The moon is going to trine Saturn. This is going to be a beautiful energy for us to get a little bit of a grip on our thoughts, on our emotions. This is definitely going to highlight where it is that, yeah, we're running into some obstacles. We're running into some roadblocks, trying to get past certain thoughts, certain feelings. Of course, sitting in the darkness, sitting in the fears and uncertainties, never good for anyone. So we are using this previous aspect with this Uranian energy to open our minds up to where it is that maybe we could create a different system, a different structure of thinking, a different level playing field on where it is that we can try to walk away from some of the extremes that we've been sitting in. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and bump into both Jupiter and oppose Chiron. This is really going to put us at odds with our own thoughts, our own feelings. Just when we had an opportunity to boss up, we're likely going to be pulled back down with our insecurities, with our vulnerabilities. Of course, Jupiter is the great magnifier, really showing us where things have gotten extreme inside our heart and our head. And of course, the moon opposing Chiron is only going to illuminate where it is that we still have some healing work to do, highlighting the insecurities, the fears, the doubts, and of course, really illuminating where it is that we are living in extremes in our mental plane and in our heart space. The moon is going to provide us with a beautiful opportunity to transform some of these thoughts and feelings, first by bumping into the sun in Scorpio, and then absolutely being able to put into practice these aha moments that we are going to be having in our exterior realms. This means that we are going to be illuminated where it is that, yes, we've been sitting in the darkness, yes, where we're in a state of paralysis, yes, where we need to transform our thoughts and our feelings into something brighter, into something lighter. The moon then bumping into Uranian energy is going to give us that zap of energy to our heart space, to our emotions, in order to boss up and actually change them into something bigger, something grander, something more positive. Yes, it is going to feel a little bit cray-cray. Yes, it is going to feel a little bit chaotic, but that is where change is needed the most. That is how we kind of add a little bit more stability, bring the peace back, bring the harmony back into what has been a very turbulent, emotional, and mental time. The moon goes ahead and bumps into Venus, and this is definitely going to show us where it is we need safety, stability, security in our lives. And again, with the earlier aspects really rattling us to our core, this is going to be a very welcomed aspect because it is going to illuminate where it is that we actually have control to get a grip over our emotions, over our thoughts, and absolutely use the not so nice thoughts and feelings to build a better structure, to see where it is that we are kind of craving a little bit more stability, a little bit more peace and joy in our lives. And of course, that gives us a framework to take action and make things happen. Lastly, we're going to end the day off with the moon making a little bit of a tension point with the true node. And of course, this is really going to put us in a different arena on what it is that we have to rework. Why? Because a lot of our plans have fallen apart. The current position that we're standing in, although it feels safe and secure because it's uncomfortable and familiar, and we're familiar with this uncomfortability, we do want to move forward, but it's scary as hell. So the moon in Libra is going to provide us with a little bit of balance, a little bit of lighter energy to see where it is we can use our intellect, use our intuition to rework our circumstances, to see what is actually going on, to highlight our thoughts and our emotions, what it is we're working on, trying to find safety and stability in. And of course, the true node is trying to provide us with that great big vision, that great big dream, the goal of where it is we want to be. But of course, we have to do the transformation inside of ourselves before we're going to see it manifest in our physical realms.